What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And once again, welcome to another convention recap video. I've been feeling like I've been doing a lot of these lately. I'll have two more coming up after this one, but I'll get to those when those shows happen. But for today's video, it is actually going to be my recap video from Chiller Theater up in Parsippany, New Jersey. I believe this is now my fourth time going to Chiller, I believe. Because I went April of 2023, October 2023, April of this year, and this year in October. So yeah, this is my fourth time going to Chiller Theater. Always been a fun time. They always get so many great guests and a lot of rare guests as well. It's amazing how many guests they get for the show and how many like rare guests they get and things like that. So I'll go through the same thing like I did with the other convention recaps, where I will show you like the people that I met, the autographs, and the picture of the celebrity, them signing it, and the signed item. I did not get anything from the vendor rooms. Just like the vendor rooms didn't have anything I really necessarily needed. So this is strictly just meeting celebrities and things like that. So I had a great time. And without further ado, let's get on to the convention recap video. Starting off with the first person that I met. The first person I met was Jill Schoelen. For people who don't know who Jill Schoelen is, a scream queen from back in the 80s, whether it be The Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund, Cutting Class, When a Stranger Calls Back, and she was in Popcorn, and the original Stepfather, and I think she was in Babes in Toyland with Keanu Reeves, and had a small part in DC Cab. And she's been in a couple of other things as well, but she's mainly known for a lot of horror stuff. I feel like I'm probably missing some things that she was but I think I did name up everything that she was pretty much in. So I've been wanting to meet Jill Schoelen for quite a while now. She's been one of my most anticipated meets. And she certainly did not disappoint. Jill was a really, really nice lady, so down to earth and just very soft spoken, just a really lovely person to talk to. Kind of a funny story with Jill Schoelen. I brought my MVD mini poster of Cutting Class for her to sign. Now, which I happen to enjoy Cutting Class. I think it's a pretty fun movie. So kind of a funny story is that I know on the interviews on the MVD, if you watch the features, Cutting Class, where they interviewed Jill Schoelen, she says she didn't really have the greatest experience working on the movie. I think she said like the director was a little difficult to work with, but she really did enjoy working with Martin Mull and Roddy McDowall. So she had a fun time working with those guys. So it's kind of a funny story. On Jill Schoelen's Instagram page, I commented under when she was, I guess, talking about when MVD was first releasing Cutting Class on Blu-ray. I commented under her video not video, but her post saying, I'm a little nervous bringing my Cutting Class poster to you because I know that you didn't have the best experience working on it and things like that. So I told her I was a little uneasy about bringing that to her because I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable for something she didn't have the best experience working on. And I wasn't really expecting a reply. And lo and behold, I looked the next day, and all of a sudden here I get a notification that Jill Schoelen responded to my comment under her post. And you talk about the loveliest person. She was saying to me, like, she appreciates me having, empathy for her feelings and things like that. But she said, you don't have to be nervous. She'd be more than willing to sign my poster. And she was telling me that the fact that Cutting Class over the years has been finding its audience and people have been supporting it more. And she was like, well, how can I not support that? And I'm grateful for that. So I'll be more than happy to sign your poster for you and things like that. I mean, just I couldn't like it helped like reading that comment just like made me just feel much more at ease bringing this up to her and getting it signed and everything. And sure enough, when I went to go meet her, I actually asked her about that, and she remembered it, and she was asking me, "Was that you that commented that?" I'm like, that was me, yes." And we were talking about that, and she was even saying to me, "Well, like I said in the comment, you know, how can I not love the fact that cutting class is finding more of its audience and how people are loving it more, and it's getting more brought to the limelight, and people are enjoying it for what it is and things like that." So we were talking a little bit about that, and like just really lovely person. Jill Sholin is what I'm getting at. I mean, just an awesome person, and she got a good laugh out of the quote that I wanted her to sign on my cutting class poster. She had a great laugh out of it, which I thought was pretty funny, and her handler had a really good laugh out of it too. So, but you'll see that when we get to the pictures and all that stuff. So, definitely a great start to the convention, Jill Sholin. I knew she was easily the VIP of the con, without a doubt. So, without further ado, let's get on to the photos and everything. So, here is my picture with me and Jill Sholin. And here's a picture of Jill Sholin signing my cutting class poster. And her autograph on it. Okay, guys, moving on to the next person I met. The next person I met was a big reason for me to get, one of the biggest reasons for me to go. And I was originally going to meet Mickey Rourke because I had a Fade to Black poster, but he unfortunately canceled and things like that. So I was wanted to go for this guy next, and Mickey Rourke that happened to cancel. So the next person I met was Tommy Chong. Like, you know, what can I say more? Cheech and Chong, that '70s show, things like that. But of course, I wanted him on that '70s show because I'm a huge fan of that '70s show, and I love the character of Leo, one of my favorite side characters on the show, and Tommy Chong just plays it perfectly. So I really wanted to get Tommy Chong on there because I already had Danny Bonaducci on there, so I wanted to get Tommy Chong. And Tommy Chong was a really cool guy, and Tommy Chong is basically his character Leo in real life. Really laid back, really cool guy. He was talking with everybody. He talked with me and things like that, and it's kind of, he was cracking a few jokes with me and things like that. When he asked me who I wanted to personalize to, and I said my name, and he's like, I know that name because that sounds really familiar, because you know why? That happens to be my name. So he was cracking jokes about that and things like that. Just like I said, Tommy Chong is basically his character Leo in real life, just like kind of laid back and really just aloof and cool and things like that. It's a pretty cool experience, and it was just so cool seeing all these people bring up going to meet Tommy Chong. And Tommy Chong's almost 90 years old, so he's not getting any younger. But I tell you, he looks pretty damn good for being almost 90. So it's just really cool that Chiller Theater was able to get a legend like Tommy Chong in the building. So definitely another great meet for the show with Tommy Chong, and a great addition to my That '70s Show Blu-ray. So one thing about Tommy Chong was that when he was going to personalize it to me and things like that, he accidentally screwed, and my camera is having a freaking seizure. Come on. My camera is having a god-awful seizure. Why is this happening to me? Ugh. All right, if I'm glitching, then I guess we'll have to just deal with it because I'm not restarting this video. So without further now, so what I was saying was that with Tommy Chong, he accidentally like was misspelling. He accidentally messed up my name and things like that, and he felt so bad about it, and he was like, I'm like, oh no, someone can trace over it if someone signs it again and things like that, and because like he's almost 90 years old, so you can't really fault the guy for that. So, and I felt so bad for him because he kept apologizing to me, and I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Like someone can trace over it. It's no big deal. So he personalized it in a different spot for me, and has a pretty cool looking signature as well, I will admit too. So definitely a really cool guy, Tommy Chong. So the agent that was actually handling Tommy Chong took some really cool photos of me and Tommy interacting with each other and him signing my thing and things like that. So I have a lot of pictures to show for this one. So now, the way Tommy Chong was posing for the picture, he was like singing, he was like mumbling us and singing a song and being silly and things like that. So that's why this picture looks the way it does. So Tommy Chong is a really funny guy. So here is my picture with me and Tommy Chong. And here's a picture of Tommy Chong signing my That 70s Show Blu-ray. And here is his autograph on the item. And a couple of extra bonus pictures in here. Here's a picture of Tommy Chong first looking at me when I first walked up to him. So here's that photo. And here's a picture of Tommy Chong looking at my That 70s Show Blu-ray. He was actually looking at Danny Bonaducci's autograph on it. So here's that photo. And here, and the last cool photo I'll show you for Tommy Chong is that he's looking at me again, and that's him asking me what my name was and things like that after he signed it. So here's that photo. Okay, so moving on to the next person. The next person that I met was a big one for me because I'm a huge fan of the early Kevin Smith universe and things like that, Clerks and things like that. So I wanted to add this guy to my Mallrats photo. So my next person that I met was Brian O'Halloran, of course Dante from Clerks, and he was also in Brutal Massacre, a comedy, but he's mostly known as Dante in the Kevin Smith universe of movies, Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and things like that. But of course I wanted him on Mallrats, where he played Gil Hicks, one of the bachelorettes on the dating game show in the mall. And Brian was a really cool guy, really nice guy. It's kind of funny, when I first laid out my Mallrats photo for Brian to sign, he's like, good choice. And then the first thing he says to me was, where'd you meet these two cats at right here? And he was talking about Jeremy London's autograph and Ethan Suplee's autograph on there, and I was telling him that I got Jeremy London at Chiller last year. That was actually the photo I picked off his table, was that Mallrats photo. And then I got Ethan Suplee on it at the Philly Fan Expo, which I did a recap on. So me and Brian were talking a little bit about that, and he was saying to me like how like everyone was going to do like that PopCon thing in 2020 before everything unfortunately got shut down. It was actually going to be at Cherry Hill where Monster Mania is held. It was called the Pop Convention, and it was going to have Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Kevin Smith, and Jason Mewes, and I think a couple of other Kevin Smith alumni people. I forget who, but those are the ones. I think Kevin Smith. But I know Jason Mewes, Jeff Anderson, and Brian O'Halloran were going to be there, but unfortunately it was shut down. He was like, I really wish they would like think about doing that again because that would have been a fun show and things like that. And Brian and his handlers got a really great laugh out of the quote that I wanted him to sign. So Brian asked me like, "Hey, so how do you want to sign out to you?" And I said, the quote and everything like that. And they just got a like, I didn't kiss any guy backstage, I swear. And his handlers were laughing their ass off, and so was Brian. So he got a good laugh out of the quote that I wanted him to sign. So overall, great guy and things like that. So and Brian O'Halloran also took a couple selfies. So that's how he did my photos and everything. So here is my picture with me and Brian O'Halloran. And here's a picture of Brian O'Halloran signing my Mallrats photo. And his autograph on it. Okay, so moving on to the next person that I met. The next person I met was Mike Starr. I mean, if you don't know who Mike Starr is, this guy has been around for a long time, whether it be in small supporting roles, as a character actor, and things like that. But he's been in Goodfellas as Frenchie. He was in The Natural with Robert Redford. Just countless and countless amounts of small supporting roles as a character actor. But I really wanted him on Dumb and Dumber, where he's the guy that goes, "Guys, guys, guys, fellas." That guy, after Jim Carrey, does the most annoying sound in the world. I originally brought my Dumb and Dumber DVD for him to sign, but he had a photo on his table with him, Jim Carrey, and Jeff Daniels sitting together in the car right before the scene happens. So, I like that photo better, so I opted to get that instead. And Mike Starr was a really, really cool guy, as my camera's having another seizure, so glitching and all that stuff. So, but Mike Starr was a really cool guy, really nice guy, really talkative. I was wearing my Andrew Dice Clay t-shirt, and he was telling me that he got to work with Dice on his Showtime show. And he talked about how Dice was such a nice guy to work with, and how his sons are really nice kids as well, and he got to work with his sons and things like that. He was also talking about John Candy, because he was Pooter the Clown and Uncle Buck. And he was talking about how much of a great guy John Candy was and things like that. So, I mean, just an overall really cool guy, Mike Starr. So, just a really, really nice guy. So, here is my picture with me and Mike Starr. And here's a picture of Mike Starr signing the Dumb and Dumber 8x10. And his autograph on it. Okay, now the last person that I met at the show was I didn't plan on meeting him, but I just kept hearing how much of a great guy he was and things like that. And he seemed like a nice guy too, so I figured I'd grab him real quick before I leave the show for the night. So the last person I met was Eddie Deason, who was, I mean, what more can be said? I mean, he was Eugene in Grease, and he's been in Critters 2 and Midnight Madness, and but of course, I grew up with Cartoon Network as a kid in the 90s. I grew up with all the Cartoon Network shows, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory, and that's the point I'm getting at. He voiced the character of Mandark in Dexter's Laboratory, and unfortunately, he had a Dexter's Laboratory 8x10 photo with him and Dexter on it. So I really wanted to get him on that because, you know, Dexter's Laboratory was a part of my childhood on Cartoon Network and things like that. So, and Eddie was a really nice guy. He was full of energy. He was really talkative, and he shook my hand like probably 3 times. Just a really nice guy. And a cool thing about Eddie was that the lighting where he was at wasn't that great, so he would walk around. He would walk away from his table and go around the corner in the hallway where there was a bunch of light. He would take your photo there with you and things like that, which I thought was really, really cool of him to give your picture some better lighting and things like that. I mean, I can't tell you what me and this man talked about. We talked for like a couple minutes just about anything and things like that. So just a really, really nice guy. So here is my picture with me and Eddie Deason. And here's a picture of Eddie Deason signing the Dexter's Laboratory 8x10. And his autograph on it. And there you guys have it. That is the entire recap from Chiller Theater. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.